and welcome to the C3 Podcast, 1 year anniversary, where we get to talk about E3 once again. Today, I am joined by James,
Hello?
who is also known as Asian Pride, and I'm also joined by Arnold.
Known as Arnold. Or Showing Gun 24 if you want to add him on Xbox Live. Because he's such a good gamer, he's so pro.
And of course, I'm Zafir's or David, or Philip, depending on who's talking to me, because everyone gets my name wrong. So, how's it going, guys?
Good. How are we doing? Hey, never mind. We're looking at something else. So, what's up? We're gonna jump right in? We're gonna talk about E3? Wait. This is our 1 year podcast? Or we started doing this a year ago?
We started doing this when we were talking about E3 last time.
Was it? But I thought that was I thought that was in summer. I guess it is fun. Our first podcast, if you go back to our YouTube channel, is at this time talking about E3. Oh, is this when we almost got sued by those C3 guys?
Yeah, basically.
Cutting edge. Yeah.
Wait, what ended up happening? Because I haven't been keeping track of the.
He basically hasn't. He hasn't said anything yet because we haven't put up any really major content recently. Neither have they. You looked at. No, I mean the one thing they posted was 8 months ago. Oh really? Yeah. Or 8 months ago, a year ago. So 20 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good to know.
And then it was literally 10 minutes with 4 guys just talking.
I see.
And about 2 minutes of it was laughing. Yeah. I won't be racist, but never mind. I won't say it. Okay. Wait.
What?
So, are you guys ready to start talking about some E3 news?
Before we do that, let's. Did you play any games?
Actually. Yeah, go ahead. No, you go. Okay. Recently I just been playing DayZ and Battlefield 3. I haven't been playing any two AAA title new releases. Maybe if you count Crisis 3, but that was a while back. How about you, Arnold? I started last week. I have 9 games in my backlog, and I started off with 16.
Nice.
So I finally got it down to 9, and of those 9, I decided to buy one more. So I went up to 10, and I started playing Darksiders.
That is a good game.
Yeah, well, I played the first one, and the first one was very good. The concept I heard was very interesting. Although it was slightly different from the actual game itself, but the game was still very entertaining. And I'd like to play the second one, but I'm not going to until I at least get through 3 or 4 of those games I talked about.
Wait, Darksiders or Dark Souls?
No, of the other 9 games.
Okay.
I think the most notable ones are Gears of War 3, the Fear Trilogy, and Arkham City, which in time for Arkham Origins, so...
Pretty good.
Yeah. That's about it. I've been doing my best. I'm actually trying to 100% that game, Darksiders. I think I have 46 of 53 achievements in it. So
Nice.
But the one achievement that's is the decider whether or not I'm gonna 100% it is doing the game on apocalyptic mode, which is it's not hard. The game isn't hard. It's just time. Do I want to invest another 20, 15, maybe 10 hours now that I know how to do everything? So, I mean, half that game is just figuring out, what direction you're going, because the map system isn't the best. But
Yeah.
Anyways, how about you?
I have been working on the PC port of Dust, an Elysian Tale.
Yeah, I saw some graphic images of that. It looks pretty nice.
The interesting about that one is that it was all made by one guy, the art and programming.
So,
It was one guy in his basement, I guess, for 4 years, and then he released it to Xbox Live or XBLA, and then he did a port to PC.
So yeah, we're looking it up right now, and never mind.
It's pretty good. The animation for that is pretty great.
What kind of game? What kind of genre?
2D side-scrolling brawler, I guess. I think that would be the most.
An Elysian Tale?
Yes, tail spelled Tail.
Yep. It looks like a pretty nice like game. Like it doesn't look too cartoony. It actually looks decent.
Yeah, art's really nice for
Oh wow.
what it is.
It reminds me of an anime very much. Yeah.
It reminded me of like
that and the Emperor's New Groove.
reminded me of like DuckTales or something. Like the cartoon. You guys had childhoods.
So that's a situation in which, like, I'm gonna bring up something else. So Dust is in a situation where it worked out well because, like, the game looks nice and like people like it, such as you. But I'm thinking of Diablo 3, how it was basically created for PC, but it's being ported to consoles. And it seems Diablo 3 works much better for consoles than it does for PC, just because it seems like it was, when it first came out, it just seemed very geared towards PC players. And is this like the first major Blizzard game that on a console?
What is this?
Talking about Diablo 3, how Diablo 3's been ported out to the just 360, or is it? It's both to both consoles. Yeah, it's looking like it's been designed and more successful with the consoles versions than it has. Well, they've announced that they haven't ported it yet, but they're going to. Oh yeah. But it just seems like the overall game design itself, it's going to be more successful and better for console players. Was that an E3 announcement, or did they announce that before that? It was a little bit before that. But so segue to E3. Yeah. So that was a good E3 segue. Cough. Our cousin E3, you know, huh? C3, yeah. So of course the first major topic that comes up is Xbox One and PS4. How do we want to do this? Do you want to just do this like how we have it set up there? Or do you want to do it like press conference by press conference? It's up to you, because really but we can talk Xbox One versus PS4 for a while, and then talk to, you know, because that's just the first major thing that popped up. First of all, do you want to do this first, or do you want to say what games we're looking forward to, what individual game we're looking forward to the most? I kind of want to just get out this huge debate out first. Okay. Because I don't know. I still know a lot of people who don't know what's going on with this process at this moment. I'm stepping out. So, yeah. Personally, like, I just want to make people feel aware of what they're getting into, because a lot of people that I know personally, they always viewed Xbox 360 as like the gaming console, and now with this announcement of Xbox One, a lot of people are unaware of what choice to make. And so, I'd just like to clarify and get out the debate right now. So do you, Philip, know anything of new hardware or anything about the current new next gen consoles?
Do I know anything?
Hey, we have a question here.
Sure.
We have a call-in question. First ever call-in question.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Breaking advancements. Yeah, history. Do you guys know what a heat zone problem is on a computer? Heat zone problem? HEAP. Heat zone, that's probably going to be regarding your hard drive, I like to say. I think it's going to be maybe something regarding your hard drive, if it's a heat zone. Can you Google it? Oh, helpful, guys.
Yeah, very helpful. Okay, I'll Google it. Well, you know, it's not great. Yeah, it won't download my video because of that.
Wait, who's this? Whatever.
I don't know. I don't know what that is. I've never. So are you using iMovie right now? Yeah. She's using iMovie. David, do you know anything about this?
No.
I don't know. We don't use lower programs to edit.
Ha.
Final Cut Pro. Adobe Premiere.
Wait, what is she using though?
She's using iMovie, so it's obviously a Mac.
Okay. No idea.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
So, as I was saying earlier, E3, because I know, Arnold, you have been, I'm not going to say fanboy, but just a good, long customer of Xbox. Because, you started since Xbox One, or not Xbox One, the original Xbox.
Wow, that wasn't too long ago.
I've made mistakes so many times. I've just gotten used to call it the One. So you started since the original Xbox. I started towards late original Xbox to first I actually owned the Xbox 360 first. I did not own the original Xbox.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh no.
No. You don't have to have owned that.
No, I owned an Xbox, but it was really late and it was a really old, bad copy of an Xbox because it was used. But so, what do you have to say about this new release of the Xbox One? How do you feel about it?
I mean, I'm particularly. I'd like to say I'm about 80 to 90% satisfied. Well, a few things I'm not so crazy about, but that's just because I don't know the details about it. Is I know my issue is just with the Kinects. How much are they going to push Kinect into? How much are they going to push the Kinect into
The Xbox One.
yeah, because it's just the last couple E3s. The last couple E3s, they've been really, really pushing the Kinect into gameplay. Like it happened in Mass Effect, it happened in Skyrim, it's happened a lot with the games this year. And I personally, it's not that big of a problem. I just don't want it to be a fully integrated thing.
Well,
so
if they manage to get it worked out, though, I have no problem with it because I think like they're doing it in the wrong way right now because the Kinect seems like you can potentially get a more interactive game at that time and I don't mind that because with the way they integrate it with Mass Effect with the Kinect, it seems like they're trying to get the gamer more involved, and that doesn't sound like a bad thing. But just right now they're pushing it way too much, and they need to do it very slowly. And yeah, I mean, Philip, you played Mass Effect, correct?
Yes, I have.
You've been disappointed by the ending as well?
For Mass Effect 3, I decided to boycott it.
wait, boycotted the game before it came, before you played it, or you played it and then boycotted it?
No, I haven't even played ME3. I just know the lore behind it, but I don't know, I have never actually played Mass Effect 3.
Well, wait, why did you protest it? Because you heard about the anger of the game, or was there anything else?
No, I just don't believe Day 1 DLC is, the amount of Day 1 DLC, and to the point that the Day 1 DLC also had important plot points in it, or like very helpful points to the story in it. I did not approve of that, so I just flat out didn't buy it.
See, was it free DLC, or was it actually
You had to pay. It was like,
oh yeah, see, I didn't know
it
that.
was like $30 more
I have,
if you wanted all the good stuff from the DLC.
Yeah, that was like one of the problems I saw with like a lot of frustration that people had with there was so much DLC for that game that people thought basically they told you half the game and you can buy the rest in these increments. And that's
Because
just
like the end cost to that game was like 700 something if you bought every DLC pack.
$700?
Yeah, it was like stupid high, and then
Didn't they have a season?
if you wanted the minimum requirement of DLC to get the best story out of it, you would have to go at least $30 to $40 more than the game itself. So
that's just in my opinion a bad business model because I mean it's smarter what not Bungie but 343 Industries did with Halo 4. Their introduction of what was it? Spartan Ops. Yeah, and how it introduces this new story. But is it paid DLC or is it free DLC?
I believe Spartan Ops was free DLC, although I can't reassure that just because I bought the season pass. So
no, I believe Spartan Ops was pay as you go. It was like pay what you wanted to pay for.
Because I knew map packs cost money, but that was about it.
Basically, anytime something comes in from Halo, it just starts downloading. That's what I have, so I can't.
The thing is, I didn't hear of any outrage at that as compared to Mass Effect. Even though Spartan Ops is still somewhat semi-story driven. Right?
It's story. It's an episodic story-driven thing. It's kind of like what Valve wanted to do with Half-Life. You know how Episode 1, part whatever, and then what ended up happening. The only difference between the two is that you can play Halo 4 without playing Spartan Ops, and you'll still have the full story of Halo 4.
Except,
you'll have the core. Spartan Ops was more like a branch-off story rather than the main story.
As compared to Mass Effect.
As compared to Mass Effect, where they had plot points in the DLC.
Okay. To get back on topic about the Xbox One, So overall, what's your opinion of the Xbox One? Good or bad?
I'm fine with it. Yeah. Mainly just because there's a few little issues, and I know that you're going to bring up some points, and we'll gladly debate those. But I'm fine. The games that are speculated to come out with it, as well as the ones that I've already confirmed, are ones I will play.
My one problem with this is this new Xbox One seems too media oriented, and because it's like they've lost a couple of exclusive titles. Like, I mean, they'll always have Halo 4, but like the exclusivity of like Halo Xbox just doesn't feel like it's there anymore. Cause,
well, they have the same amount of exclusives scheduled to come out so far.
but I don't know. I don't feel like there's because before I used to play almost every single game, besides Halo that came out for both consoles. I would play on the Xbox just because I always liked the Xbox. It was a cheaper system. It was a cheaper Xbox Live thing. It was just and I had a better
cheaper Xbox Live.
Not a cheaper Xbox Live, but like I just preferred the online community. Well, not really preferred the online community, but there was, I don't know, the online was just better there. But like now it's like after I've mainly moved away from Call of Duty and Halo. Like, I mean, I'm still a big fan of Halo, but I don't feel as compelled to go to the Xbox One anymore as like they have I might have with the Xbox 360.
No spoilers. You still haven't played Halo 4 though, right?
Yep.
That's what we're going to be doing like pretty soon though, right?
But my one problem with Xbox is just it feels like there isn't. It's just too media oriented, and they're trying to they're trying to expand to different audiences, just like Nintendo did when they launched when they first launched the Wii. It was like it's something different from the GameCube because it was a more interactive experience.
Yeah, and look how that was. It's the second most selling console of all time.
Yeah,
I know that nowadays nobody.
I know,
plays
but it was like
just because they
casual
didn't
gamer
games.
after.
The Wii's failure was the Wii's back end failure was attributed to different things, not that. It's just because. But anyways, you were talking about
I don't know.
a lack of.
I just feel like there isn't any major titles to really compel me to stick to the Xbox besides Halo because I like.
There's 7 IP titles that are scheduled to come out with launch or at launch.
What games?
We pull up a list.
Okay.
Because there's Titanfall is one of them, right?
Yeah, new IP.
There's right now like 13 exclusives or something like it's 13 or 9 exclusives, and 6 or 7 are supposed to come out at launch. But anyways,
I'm not too.
Well, you said it's media integrated, but what's the difference between that and the PS3? Because the PS3 has better.
Yeah, well, because that's what I was saying. Like the PS3, it's like that was its fault. The PS3, it decided to go with like the Blu-ray player and all this. Like it felt more media oriented, and it didn't have it. Like,
it just failed when it came to that media oriented thing. So we don't know that. For all, what if the one's performance does actually integrate some helpful things? James is stepping out just for a little bit. And well, what about you, Philip? I know they have a couple things. I want to wait to say a couple things before I want James to come back. So.
Okay. Wait. What am I talking about? What?
Your opinion, thought
of Xbox One?
Yeah.
Microsoft needs a better PR group.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I feel that. Are you starting with the Adam? What's that guy's name? Adam Orange or something like that? The guy who started off by saying you shouldn't live in like the areas of poor internet. You know what I'm talking about?
No, it's not even that problem now because it's like the Xbox One is region locked to 21 countries. And and 21 countries excludes like half of the European Union. So that's like Poland, Czechoslovakia, or Czech Republic. Those groups, those have good internet. Greece is out. In the Asian countries, Singapore is out. Like Singapore with its 104% internet router or internet hotspot per household ratio. It's like, well, they excluded really big countries that love gaming.
Okay. Okay.
Just don't live in those countries.
I don't know because I've never had much interaction with anybody from any of those countries on the console level. When it came to online, like other stuff, yeah, but we're talking about how some of the countries that Microsoft has excluded. Again?
Yeah, but
No. Hold on. Sorry. Go ahead.
it's not exactly great for PR. I mean, a couple hours later after Microsoft said that, Sony, the company who doesn't seem to be able to do any wrong with the gamers right now, was like, well, we won't have region locking, and they're getting praised for that.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing they're getting praised for is the used game thing, which that's another thing that everybody's all riled up about.
Would you consider to have a country like Poland over Mexico? Because Mexico was one of the 21 countries, I believe. Yes, it is. But that,
I think Mexico is considered there. Okay. This kind of is going to kill two birds with one stone. Mexico's probably in there just because of location and proximity. I think I would want to say more consoles will probably be sold or sent down via remittances to just creating a larger audience than Poland would. And the other thing is, you talked about James. You talked about media. I think they're doing media, and you mentioned just to expand their marketing. And why not? Microsoft is still at the end of this. It's not targeting. Well, they are targeting gamers, but they are not making these for gamers. They're still a business, and they need to do what they need to do.
That's the thing, though. It's like they may lose the audience, though.
They may lose that's going to be interesting to see. They might have to do a trade-off to where I think they might have the same at the end of all this. They might have the same amount of people.
Because you mentioned like a trade-off, but that's how I view it for what happened to the Wii as well. They had that trade-off because the GameCube had some like original like really old school titles like the Super Smash Brothers. I mean, I will always love that game, but it's just that trade-off of how much gamer you're gonna lose and how much commercial and casual people are you gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I feel like by requiring online access, it's going to be limiting a decent amount of audience, though.
What? Is that a question or is that a statement?
I feel like it's going to be a statement. I make that as a statement that they will be limiting a decent amount of audience because there are like a decent amount of offline players unless they integrate network adapters into their console. And right now, I actually have a thing of specs pulled up, and as of right now, I don't see anything so far about any network capability or any network adapters built in. Because I know PlayStation 3 had network adapters built in.
Mm-hmm.
So, because it says I see one at the bottom. It says what web connection. It says gigabit in Ethernet or Wi-Fi. But I don't know if it necessarily means you had to buy a standalone network adapter. Also, I'll let you.
Wait, is it coming in with? Oh,
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Wait, what were you asking? Sorry, I was looking at this. But does it come with a wireless adapter?
See, that's what I'm trying to figure out because if they want people to be connected to the internet to play, they need to give that.
I almost assumed that just because the new Xbox is already built in with one, right?
Yeah.
The Xbox for like the last 3 years or so. Is that right? Or is it less than that? The new Xboxes have had wireless adapters already integrated into them.
It seems.
Yeah, see, I that would be kind of a minus for me, I guess, if they didn't build in a wireless adapter. Because if you want all of this to happen, you've got to at least meet them halfway and do that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, because that was like my one problem with how they're going to exclude audiences is by
a wireless adapter. A cheap one is what, $20, but a good one is $60.
No, because I mean
one for the 360.
Well, the 360 before when the 360 came out, it was about like $100 for their network adapter. It was pretty crazy, but so actually I've looked it up. It seems like they do actually have built-in adapters. So I mean I will give them that 1 point, but because if they didn't have a built-in adapter, there would definitely be a decent amount of offline audiences. Because, I mean, you yourself, Arnold, used to be an offline player.
Yeah, but that was just because my mom was afraid of internet.
But, yeah, and the thing is just dependent on if they integrate wireless capabilities. I'm seeing it now that they have it integrated. I mean, they may not cut off the audience, but another thing is just backwards compatibility. That's the only...
that's the only. For me personally, that's the only thing I don't like. But what's the bad part? Boo-hoo! I have to keep my Xbox 360. But something you brought up about your Xbox that made me think about something. I only have launch hardware. I have the original Xbox. I have the original 360, and I'm getting the one the day it launches, November 22nd, I think it is, 21st. So,
I wonder because PlayStation also announced that they're going to be going on to a paid online service. So
I thought that was optional in terms of you can still play online, but you get bonus features.
I'm not sure.
I know exactly what the switch is between what they're doing. Okay, so what they want to do is make up for the fact they have decided that because now they're going to make PSN Plus mandatory, that in order to make up for the lost funds from used games, they're going to start doing the less than $5 a month thing with PSN Plus.
That's not too bad.
And then we aren't sure about if there's going to be new games put out for it, but we can be sure that the reason why they're switching it over is to alleviate the costs of running this of the used games market, and then also it's important to note that the paid subscription will not affect all games like Warframe that's going over to the PS4, PlanetSide 2, and
I actually sorry to interrupt, but I heard about PlanetSide 2, and that's a very interesting thing to port because at least I know right now it's very processor heavy. I actually have the specs of the PlayStation 4 pulled up. It's a single chip custom processor, and the CPU with the x86 64 AMD Jaguar with 8 cores. And I wonder how strong is that going to be? Because
I think it'll be strong enough. It's an APU, and it's
a custom processor, and I don't know how many they haven't on where I have it pulled up. They haven't announced how many gigahertz it is, just how many cores, and 8 cores is not a bad thing. But I'm just interested.
I know, but it's a gaming dedicated console machine. It uses an APU.
Have you guys followed what Microsoft did? Obviously, I think the PS4 has probably gotten better press than the One has.
No doubt about that. Continue.
Yeah, but I think the 360's been doing. Well, I think they've made some forward things with some recent 360 announcements. The two biggest ones being free downloadable games, and they started that. They're releasing games pretty much free to download off Xbox Live. You just need a gold account, I believe. And the first two games they started off that was Halo 3 and Assassin's Creed 2.
My one thing is I actually saw this in our article as well. How one Xbox One engineer said what they're trying to do is they're trying to take the Steam business model of basically doing it all cloud based.
Which is and that's another thing a lot of people are upset about. It doesn't Valve essentially want to do that, or doesn't Valve already do that, where everything is bought through Steam stuff? Or
Yes.
And but nobody thinks that's terrible.
Because it's already been an established business model for them. That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
I don't buy many games from Steam. I buy most of my games through GOG.
You see, I don't hear many problems.
I don't buy too many games from Steam either. Well, it's because you aren't sharing too many games with Steam. And
and with
the Xbox, it's kind of been established that most likely you're going to have a friend who owns the Xbox, and you guys are going to for that sort of stuff. Or lending games. Just before, when I lent you my Halo Wars, and I'm trying to write other titles that I've lent you.
ODST?
Okay, but it's just because with consoles, that because it's reached such a wider audience, someone else is going to have it, and you can share games around.
Yeah.
Because people want to spend money buying those bits.
Yeah.
With Steam, it's a bit more difficult because you need a specific sort of level of computer. Compared to consoles, everyone will have it.
The only reason they're doing that was just because of, not hack games, but part of the used game market. But then there's also what you might be able to help me out? Discs that aren't made by the developer, but that still play the games. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I do not. Do you have
I
any
forgot.
idea?
I forgot what game it was specifically, and I will. Here's since I can't prove it for now. Like, I'm gonna try to look it up in the meantime. But I'll tell the story. Is that they said 90% of their games were not
Legitimate copies?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like from the developer's point of view, developer doesn't make like I mean they crunch a lot, and I personally think they deserve as much money as they can get, and to see that's terrible on their end. So from a developer's point of view, that's why I think the one has some good standpoints with that. The other thing I wanted to bring up real briefly, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to stay actually, but the 360 pretty much their life is going to be extended. The PS3 seems like it's going to almost die off when the 4 comes out, but they're releasing new games with the 360. Like there's going to be one exclusive, but they're going to continue releasing games with 360 as well.
Well, see, that's the thing though. It's like, if people are making transition to Xbox One, they will still need to keep the Xbox 360. Like,
What do you mean?
well, because so if you're saying they're still releasing titles for the Xbox 360,
Yeah, the Microsoft said basically they said can't afford a one or don't like the one.
I was
Keep
just
the
checking out your
360.
phone.
yeah. So I mean, that's not a bad thing, but it's just like, so then if they realize that people may not like it or may not want to get it, then why not just change? Like, I mean, that's how there haven't been too many transitions from consoles because this is the second time around for at least Xbox. But like each time when they like new console, people port, like they move from each console to each console. It's like it was started with Nintendo 64 and then Nintendo GameCube. You don't continue making games for the previous thing.
Yeah, but what's your point then?
I'm just saying, like, why, like, if they realize that people are still going to be playing their Xbox 360, it's like,
Yeah, it's still gonna make sales. I mean,
Not as much as if they did a 100% dedicated switch over, because I think the difference in hardware is going to split the games market for Xbox itself.
It will, but I mean, it sounds better that you can use your 360 for a couple more years as opposed to here's all these things that you don't like about the one, and we're gonna force you to play it.
Didn't they do that last time though? So why?
No, they didn't do that for any other console, to my knowledge.
No,
But
I meant like hard. They always do a 100% dedicated switch over, except unless you're Nintendo, because the Wii U was weird. But
nobody, I don't think ever. Well, in terms of discs, are you talking about in terms of discs?
I'm talking in terms of console transitions.
Yeah, because everyone's done a dedicated transition.
Like once you release something, there's a switch over, because then the sales of
he's basically saying like they're so from Xbox to Xbox 360, they shifted focus from Xbox to all the way to 360.
Well, not 100%. They they both PlayStation and Xbox did. Nintendo. Nintendo does that where as soon as one thing shifts, for the most part everything's gone. But both when the PS3 came out, they've been making PS2 games. You know something interesting? FIFA 14 is like the one that's coming out next year or this year is being made across like 8 different platforms, and PS2 is still one of them.
Well, that's because they just stopped production like a month ago.
Yeah, but I mean, still, the PS2 has been obsolete. Well, at least from my point of view, since 2005.
Yeah, since they released the PlayStation 3.
So it's just like.
But see, the thing is, it's like maybe one of those occasional.
That's a global market still. Oh yeah, but I mean.
Yeah, but they're not like marketing it as their.
Like with Microsoft, though, they're going to be releasing still a decent amount of titles for the Xbox 360 as they want.
Well, I think what they're probably going to do is, 80% of the games they're going to make is going to come out for the 360. But I think those big platform games like Halo, whatever the new Halo game is, which we can talk about that real briefly, because they never, the little teaser, there we go, a teaser that they did was, it didn't say Halo 5, it specifically said, it just said Halo, and they were very obvious, especially when that Bonnie lady from Microsoft 343, she specifically referred to it as just the new Halo project. And so I'm kind of curious what they're going to do about that.
That teaser, I was so excited for 90% of that trailer.
What? You mean before you knew it was cheap? Or
yes.
What? Oh.
I was like, oh my gosh, there's a giant robo mech thing on the desert. There's this guy in a cape. I am so excited. It's Chief.
Hey, Philip.
Yeah.
Destiny. Just go to Destiny.
Yeah, that's already interesting. But well, you didn't like.
Well, I know Destiny's coming to PC, right?
No,
it's
not. They haven't announced it yet, but I'm really hoping it does.
Okay, they better because they're not being restricted by Microsoft anymore, so they should because.
Does Activision make PC? Does Activision make PC games for launch though, or for?
Yeah.
Or I thought.
Yeah.
For launch though, I thought it was like a delayed release.
No.
See, that's an interesting thing to bring up because before Xbox, because they were because they had like the dominating effect on the gaming market because they were basically the gaming go-to console. PlayStation was never really like the main. Well, because
let's be fair, the PlayStation in sales have confirmed sales they've been a little bit behind, but in terms of shipments,
as of now, PlayStation is above.
In terms of shipment, in terms of sales, exportations, not in terms of units.
No, they're ahead in units.
I think they are ahead in units that have been sent out, not by actual ones that have been like purchased in stores and whatnot. Because I was looking this up, and because it says that Xbox 360 has like sent out 76 million, like 76.5, whatever it is, and PS3s have sent out 77, but it's like confirmed sales show differently. But I don't know. I thought it seemed like the 360 was always dominant. In fact, the 360's mostly. Want to guess what year the 360 had the biggest selling year?
So worldwide, it's as of November 4th, 2012. It's 70 million for the PlayStation 3, and 74.94 million as of December 31st for Xbox 360. But there's a
See, that's where I think that
but that's
they haven't released. The 360 hasn't released numbers since the end of 2012.
Well, at least with United States sales are ahead. I'm not entirely too sure, but I believe based off one of the videos I did watch before, PlayStation 3 eventually did level out above the Xbox.
Props to PlayStation because they had a lot of crap going on.
Right. So 73 million as of January 2013, 76 million as of 2013. Yeah.
Seventh generation. Oh, I was gonna say, what does that mean? Seventh. That just.
So they PlayStation 3 has leveled out, but they didn't have because like Xbox was, or at least to my knowledge, Xbox was always the major league game. Well, the major league gaming preference
in terms of revenue. I mean, Xbox up money. I mean, just from Xbox Live subscriptions alone.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, and that's how they managed to continue to get business model because they would get early releases for content. Call of Duty.
Almost every Call of Duty DLC was exclusive, time exclusives.
Yeah, and except for I forget which game, but it came out for PS3 first, and then for Battlefield 3.
Was it? Yeah, okay. Battlefield 3.
Battlefield 3.
Didn't they do something on Black Ops 2?
I'm not too sure. I haven't played Black Ops, but I know for Battlefield 3, in-game content came first for PlayStation, and then PC and Xbox. And you brought up how like PC might have a delayed release for Destiny.
Well, no, I'm just saying, doesn't Activision specifically? Well, I mean, I guess a lot of PC games that come out for consoles typically have a delayed release, don't they?
That is true.
Yeah. But it was like at first I started specifically referring to Activision, but I guess looking at it broader, that applies where it's sometimes delayed.
I think it's just because with PC games you have digital download. So it's like you don't have to go to midnight releases or anything. It's like
that's a big thing about the one. I don't know. Did they say that about the PS4 also? That you can download games at midnight. That the one said that.
I imagine that you will be able to, considering what they're trying to do with the PS4.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about the PS4 in terms of that, because I know a lot of people would enjoy the digital buying of games, but I personally still like going. I like going to GameStop at midnight and hanging out with people, and then they bring the games out and everybody's excited.
Personally, I prefer to have a disc just to have that solid feeling because because like for me it's just I like to see the disc. I like to have it's like with the collection of books. I mean, digital books are awesome, but like it's always nice to show a display of what you have.
Yeah, I like the library of games I have going on that has started since.
I like, and I've seen your collection, and it looks really nice because you got to see from the beginning of where you started, like because like I basically have seen from where you started on Xbox and how you've grown, like how your collection has accumulated over time, and it's like it's the same thing with like if you visit a doctor, just like a private library or a person, it's like even though they may not have like they have these collection of books because it's just something nice to see compared to something digital, and it's just more preferable in my opinion.
I want to know why does both the PS3 and the One cost a crap or whatever PS4 a crap load of money in the UK? Like I mean,
Because they tax that crap.
well, yeah, well they have the VAT, which I guess almost balances out, but it's still a little bit more expensive. Because
Yes.
it balances almost to about for 360. The One, it's about $600 when everything's said and done, and then the PS4 is about
500? Should be
Yeah.
around 500.
Yeah,
We're
so it's
keeping
just like
the same ratio. Mhm.
yeah, but I mean, well, hey, we don't live there. Screw the bricks, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Seven-
totally.
Six.
See, the thing is,
We the people.
so like the Xbox One, I personally like because I mean, as of right now, like Xbox 360 was always the go-to pro game circuit console.
Yeah,
Because like I actually have a few friends pro gaming circuit. I have a couple of friends. Sorry for the interruption. I have a couple of friends in the pro gaming circuit of the Xbox 360 or for Battlefield 3, and they currently stick with the Xbox 360 just because it's more popular. It's more supported. But they're actually facing the decision of whether to switch from Xbox 360 to PlayStation 4 or Xbox One to PlayStation 4. They're actually choosing to go with PlayStation 4 just because it's the backwards compatibility, and it's one of my friends. He's actually part of the pro gaming circuit. But it's just they thought PlayStation 4 was the preferable experience because it was just cost-wise, it's better.
Yeah, I mean,
It's also a more powerful machine, so why not?
yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, it also. I mean, the One also does come with that Kinect, which at launch, the first Kinect launch was what, $150?
Yeah, that probably booted the price by a lot. No.
So, I mean, I'm grateful. Honestly, and see, everyone talks about how expensive it is. To be honest, I entered this thinking it would be $600. I don't know why I thought that number. Just because it made me think of iPhones. When iPhones first came out with new age hardware, it cost $600, and so I thought so when I saw $500, I was like, perfect.
So interesting thing that I saw with the hardware is they have 500 gigabyte hard drives, and I find that very interesting because I wonder like how big.
You remember we talked about this?
I wonder how big operating system. Well, because it's understandable for the Xbox One because they're trying to push cloud storage.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing.
But we talked about this. You guys, you said there will never be a time where consoles will have 1 terabyte storages. And very soon it looks like there might be.
No, that's going to
My
stick to
standpoint,
500.
Consoles are having
Hold
terabyte
on, what was
storage.
that, Dave?
It's going to stick to 500 unless you want to rack the price up by another $200 or so.
No, but I'm saying that that consoles not necessarily mandatory. Like I stuck with my 20 gigabyte hard drive for a long time.
They'll probably have
But they
terabyte.
came out. That's what I'm saying. They'll eventually come out with terabyte editions.
They'll probably have it, but it's not necessary because
Until the next console.
well, that's the thing with my current. When I made that statement, my viewpoint was they were going to be sticking to discs.
Yeah, okay. That
Because
was my argument. I said a lot of people are digital users, though. And I know people that do use up all 250 gigabytes and use...
And well, that's the thing of those. Like, sure, the games itself, though, they're about like 7 to 8 gigabytes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's still a pretty big one, but yeah.
But the thing is, it's also like how else... Because the 500 gigabytes allows extra space for not only cloud games,
Well,
because Xbox One is becoming so media integrated, it allows for music, videos, and just basic. They basically are trying to create. Xbox One is trying to be more basically a really low entry level PC, as you can see.
How much is actually open for users, though? I know it starts off 500, but what's it going to be around?
No idea. We don't know.
What'd you say?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, because
But see,
the launch started with 20 gigabytes, and 8 of them, or you started off, you can only use 12 gigabytes.
And see, the thing is, I think now it's going to be you're going to have much less space, just because you have to worry about operating system. as well as all these updates, as well as firmware for the hardware, because it's going to be needing
I think
drivers.
it's going to be like 50 gigabytes at least.
Yeah. Because you have to worry about getting the drivers or basically the software to run the hardware. So you need software to run the Kinect. You need software to run the new the new GPU, the Wi-Fi, and everything, and Bluetooth. And I wonder, like with the Xbox, they could actually be using all 500 gigabytes very quickly if they're going to be doing all cloud-based gaming. With the PlayStation, it may be different, but the thing is, they're both integrating live streaming. Like they're integrating, they're trying to get integrated with Twitch, I guess, or just streaming in general.
PS4s with Ustream, and Microsoft went with Twitch.
And they may the second reason why they have such big hard drives is maybe there'll be cache files of the video that are kept on your Xbox or on your console, and that's the only other explanation. When I made that statement about 1 terabyte, it was just for straight gaming. There will never be a need if you're just doing straight gaming for 1 terabyte. Mm-hmm. But nowadays, with how much they're trying to push other stuff, because nowadays everyone wants to for their footage upload to YouTube and become a big YouTube star. Mm-hmm. And so with the integration of live streaming, they're going to need bigger hard drives to hold onto that footage.
Well, the PS4. I saw the original announcement. I haven't really followed it too much. Have they said that you can record gameplay footage on there, like the one can?
I believe you can because they're streaming. Well, they're both streaming, and technically, what to my knowledge, when we stream, it streams at first, and then once you complete everything, then it will make the copy and put it onto your whatever is necessary. Mm-hmm. And so that's what they're probably going to be. That's what essentially I think the same model both of them are going to be using is that the Xbox One, once you finish recording, will store it onto your console. Same thing with the PlayStation.
See, I feel my view on these consoles are my view on consoles are pretty much like my view on smartphones. We're at the point where we pretty much are do we really need to we don't need to go that much stuff. Both systems are great, really. I mean, they both have their pluses and minuses. The new Xbox, it has some stuff. But I am excited for Blu-ray because everybody talks about it. At least everyone I know talks about it.
That's interesting.
The first thing I'm going to do is buy the Star Wars movies on Blu-ray. I have waited for that.
So the PlayStation 4 is a bit stronger RAM-wise because they run GDDR5 as compared to DDR3.
Oh, question. Does Microsoft have to pay Sony for the use of Blu-ray drives?
I have no clue.
Blu-ray is exclusively a Sony thing, right?
No, I think it burned off somewhere.
Okay, because I always thought Blu-ray was because everything was always tied to someone. Blu-ray I thought was tied to Sony. DVDs were tied to who are the people? And DVDs still are. Wait.
I don't know.
Anyways, no, I thought that Sony, and I always thought that that's why Microsoft couldn't put Blu-rays into their Xbox because they would have to pay Sony for that.
Or
Sony wouldn't allow Microsoft to buy.
Also, it's because Xbox 360 came out first, and it's because they want to reach.
Did it come out first?
Yeah, it came out first. That's why there were so much errors with it at first because people were complaining about rendering.
Yeah, and that was Now I was just reliving those.
But yeah, it basically Microsoft actually launched their Xbox first, so that way they can reach the market faster.
Yeah, no, but I'm
that's
talking
what
about
caused
the updated versions. Everybody said, why not add Blu-ray into the new one? The jump to what are those? What are the black ones called? The
Slim.
Slim.
The Slims. Yeah, ever since they introduced those, that was a big anticipated thing. Where they're going to do Blu-ray, and then Microsoft said, no. So.
I'm not too well aware. I don't really pay attention to Blu-ray anyway.
Yeah, well, see that I've never paid attention to Blu-ray just because it's never run on the Xbox. I mean, I never went out of my way to buy a Blu-ray drive player just because it just didn't seem worth the money.
So I don't think you can remove the hard drive.
No, you can't. That's been confirmed.
That's kind of frustrating with me because
for you.
Well, because for me, I used to view Xboxes as I would with a PC. I knew my way around them. but I can't remember too entirely. What was I going to say? Oh, I view Xboxes as basically how I view PCs, in which like I know my way around them, and so it can fix all errors with them. So with the way like the new design that they have for the Xbox, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that way.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, so like say you had errors with your Xbox, I was able to open it up and solve it, like clean it up, like clean out for dust, and I was able to just troubleshoot Xbox problems. But I don't know. That's one of my frustrations is like I would like to salvage something, and so I like how PlayStation is changing their thing. I feel like PlayStation is going to be more of a. I mean, it's all speculative, but I feel like PlayStation 4 may do better out the box.
I probably agree. Are you talking in terms of
launch? I think they're going to have greater sales just because of the way the press release has been going. Give it like maybe 3 or 4 months or so, and see what happens. I mean, but right now, I think can all of us agree that PlayStation 4 may take the launch in sales wise?
I think what's going to happen is that PlayStation's going to win the launch.
Yeah.
And then, no.
agree.
Okay, can we all agree on that? Because because of PR. And then I think Xbox is going to chase after it and probably pass it in US sales, but I think it's going to lose globally.
Well, isn't that already how it is? Microsoft dominates the U.S. market.
Yeah, but as of right now, PlayStation is just more like ubiquitous worldwide.
Yeah, that's always tough. Like I was reading about the 360, how it never was really big in Japan.
Yeah, because it was an American company.
Well, it's just because a lot of the games that came with the 360 were never really compatible. Like it just wasn't compatible.
Yeah, like COD.
Well, that, I mean, it was still first person. Yeah, exactly. And that was
It wasn't like Monster Hunter or something.
A lot of the larger Asian audience, they prefer the story-based game.
like they prefer that role playing, that RPG kind
Like
of
Monster
experience.
Hunter,
Because that's why Halo was
MGS.
called Combat Evolved. Because they felt they made Halo. They changed the title to be more expansive. And so with Combat Evolved, apparently Halo wasn't clear enough, so that was for foreign audiences. That's why it's called that Combat Evolved at the end of it.
Like the only one that I can feel is really story-oriented is Halo. But because of that, like I don't see any, like. So I guess the Xbox 360 targets a typical American gamer.
Which is fine. I mean,
But the other reason why the Xbox was so successful was just price-wise, because it's like if you just buy a straight-up Xbox 360, it was a cheaper console and you could play all the games you want, and it was much better titles to an American audience.
was the 360 cheaper?
It was cheaper.
It was.
That's why they had such great sales, because it was just a cheaper system, and so everyone else could get it, because that Blu-ray was really expensive. But see, like right now, that's what I'm saying. Like launch-wise, PlayStation 4 maybe successful, just because. Of
No. I think the way you said it was perfect. So that the PS3 will, in all markets, surpass the one, but I think at least in the American market, that it will be surpassed eventually.
I think rather than surpass, I think it'll be more like even out, because
I think all this PR is putting a bad name on Microsoft. That's a very obvious statement right there. But I think once it does come out, people are going to forget, or most people are going to forget about all that, and they are going to enjoy things.
It's also going to be dependent on the reviews of the initial people.
Yeah, we'll see.
The thing is, like, I think Microsoft's going to essentially do what they did before with the Xbox 360. Is like they're going to launch out what they have and see what the problems, and they're going to, like with the Xbox 360, like the major problem was rendering that they had to constantly, like, they came up with relatively new copies. They came out with relatively new units pretty quickly, and so I think what the thing they're going to be working on is how well the backward compatibility and the game sharing is going to turn out. If it's going to be a really negative approach, then they may change it up, because as of right now, to my knowledge, you can share up to max 10 family friends?
10 family members specifically. And what I think that refers to
I thought it was
basically
friends because they also had to be on your friends list as well.
no, that's the sharing. So this is my knowledge of it, that you can share one game with one friend anywhere, and you can share the game across 10 family members. And what I think they meant with that basically is just 10 profiles on the console can use it. And I think they assume that it's family members.
Okay.
Oh, no, actually, my take on it was, on your profile, you enter up to 10 people to be your family members, so to speak.
Okay.
Or whoever, because it's a profile system, right? So, I'm assuming it'll just be like...
Because we don't know about the new operating system.
I know.
That makes sense.
It'll be like a profile system where you get your friends list, and then there's this family list instead, and then that one friend, you can pass your games to one friend thing. It's not just one game. It's just like, so you have the original copy, you bought the copy, and then you can give it to a friend, for like a discounted price, and then but that friend cannot give it to anyone else. They're the last person to have that copy.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Wow. But actually, one thing I saw right now is I'm seeing a lot of stuff. The PlayStation actually comes with a headset, and I wonder if that's going to be standard. I'm not too aware, but I think it's going to be like now a standard to maybe come with headsets, just because how online gaming works.
Oh, the one? Not the one. God damn it, the one. Freaking time I referred to the 360, I call it the one. Oh, didn't all the 360s come with headsets?
No.
Did they change that towards
the end? You have to get certain editions, because I got the arcade version, which came with no hard drive. It just came with like the really beginner games, and also like you had to get up to the higher edition in order to even get an HDMI cable.
Well, I was gonna say you need that. I know that HDMI cables weren't included after 2009.
Yeah, well, because the original HDMI was those 5 cable ones. Yeah, and so
describing what I have.
But like as of right now, basically the standard has become HDMI because that's what we're moving to. And as of right now, to my knowledge, since these consoles are game oriented, I think they will be reaching 60 frames per second. And I don't know if you have much knowledge of that as a console gamer, Arnold, but what do you think about 60 frames per second? Just because before all games were basically locked at 30.
36 or 30?
30.
And so do you think that's do you think at all though consoles are going to be competitive against PCs though, because they're reaching the higher FPS?
I don't know. Because not really, because I think when it comes to at least graphics, PCs are always going to have that one step ahead. So the whole big name, 60 frames per second, is that also confirmed for PS4?
Yes.
Okay, so it's just great. It'll be a big name for about a year, and then everybody will realize that PCs will still have better graphics. But I mean,
that was assumed. I don't think anyone's expecting this console generation to actually pass PCs.
I think he was just saying, will it not pass?
Will it matter to you because you're a console gamer?
Because as of right now, it seems like both consoles, they're reaching toward low-level, maybe mid-level gaming PCs. Maybe low-level.
Well, low-level, but then they're going to optimize it, and then it'll be mid.
But no, like what they are equivalent to.
Yeah, low level, but then they're going to optimize it. So,
But see, the thing is, it's like if you like for hardcore PC gamers, they'll most likely be able to achieve a stronger build and achieve greater performance, and that's the thing. Because because even though like these are custom built processors oriented for gaming, it's just they won't be a PC just because PCs you can game, but you can do so much more. And they are trying to do that with the Xbox One because you can use Bing and Internet Explorer. But let's be serious. How many people here use Bing and how many people use Internet Explorer? I mean, it's known. It has the reputation of the Internet.
I feel like Internet Explorer, at least among us, not among us. I still feel like Internet Explorer is fairly used. Isn't it still the third most used engine? Third, maybe fourth
That's just because
Chrome just became the number one. Yeah, it's fourth because Chrome, Firefox, and Safari are 1, 2, and 3.
It's the Internet Explorer is only there just because it's like people don't necessarily want to take the time to install new browsers. So that's why they just stick with
don't
what.
know how. I mean,
Really?
yes, the people I know, I really think so.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Like,
I mean, I know
Like,
people that.
okay, looking at us, that's like a really, but then let's be serious.
I know, because come on, we're C3Zeta. I think we should know about computers and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like the main reason. It's like that's why Safari is so popular. It's just because it's right there.
Yeah, it's right there, but I mean, well, I always had issues with Internet Explorer.
I mean, I have used Internet Explorer, and that's to download a new browser.
The best browser to download other browsers.
I used Internet Explorer to early on when I was on computers, but when I did my Apple switch, I really never had a big problem with Safari. Once in a while, it crashed early on, but then they also integrated where you could just pretty much open everything that crashed on you. So I've never really had that big of an issue. But I have Chrome. I have Chrome for specific websites because Comic-Con.
Oh, I was about to say, like, what, incognito Chrome?
No. Because when it comes to certain things, certain things,
websites.
yeah, certain things, when I want better resolutions. Yeah, starts with P and ends with Oren. Popcorn, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, but Comic-Con was probably the number one, like, the biggest use of Chrome every year when it comes to renewing it. I've learned that Chrome is better than any other internet. If you want to get Comic-Con tickets and you're in that lottery thing, and it's Chrome is the best. Using a Chrome desktop is the best way because laptops have issues, Safari has issues. And
it's because Chrome has like it's very bare essential because it's missing a lot of plugins. It's just lacking a lot of stuff, which allows it to run faster and just handle stuff quicker. And that's what I generally like about it. I like the speed from it. And it's like, if I need to install plugins, I can go specifically because I feel like Firefox is the workhorse. It can do about anything. Because it's just that powerful thing. But I prefer speed. And one thing I like about Chrome, you listeners can't see this, but Chrome, if you actually have an account connected to it and you're on multiple computers, there's this option at the bottom. If you go to the new tab page, that you can go to other devices and you can see for every other computer.
Yeah, I saw you do that earlier.
And it's really convenient for multitasking, like for multi-computing, because it's like, oh, what was that website? I have it on this computer, but I don't have it on this one.
Yeah, that is
pretty
cool.
And that's really convenient for me because it also, and I don't know for Safari, but all my bookmarks are integrated as well.
What do you mean, cross computers?
Yeah, like, and because I know
well, you have Time Machine. Huh? You have Time Machine, which essentially, you know what that is?
No, not really.
Basically, you save everything. You can on an external hard drive, pretty much. So you mostly have to. You can do it through that's weird. But if you save everything, so you take your computer, save it as it is now. Everything to the exact setting is saved. So if you ever lose your computer, or if you want to get a new computer, you use Time Machine, and in about 20 to 30 minutes, you are everything on your new computer or on your new profile is set up exactly how you want it. And so it's not as it's not the small things that are like the links like you're saying with Google Chrome, but it does have that ability to where if you lose something, it's not fun.
Since we've already gone off topic about like the PS4 Xbox One debate, I mean I think we've established a good amount of information for it.
Is there anything Philip, you want to mention?
No, I don't think so. Oh, well.
Like, the one major problem that I have is just backwards compatibility, game sharing.
Yeah.
And the online...
You want to talk about game sharing? We already talked about that?
Yeah, we kind of did.
I guess we kind of did, yeah.
And the, overall... I forgot what I was going to say. But whatever.
Message to Microsoft. Fix your PR. Or just hire a new person. Because the person you have right now is crap.
Online access. I mean, now that actually finding out that there's a wireless adapter built in, I mean, it's understandable now. Yeah. But it's like, because beforehand, I never looked up too much information. Finding out that it does actually have a wireless adapter, I mean, it does make sense. So, like, at least it's achievable, like that they met the consumer halfway.
I always consider myself in a lot of fields that I'm more knowledgeable than the general person. So you run into a lot of issues, and I think the big issue that a lot of people had with hearing about the Xbox was that you had to when they heard that you have to log in once a day. A lot of people I knew took that as you have to play your Xbox once a day. Like you physically have to turn it on and you have to play it and you have to do this login thing, and it's just not exactly what it means.
I think though, like with the Xbox, like I mentioned earlier, it's media oriented. It's just to fight against others because actually, upcoming topic is the new because Mad Catz. I assume you've heard of them. They
Mad
just
Catz,
they used to make controllers. They just used to make console
okay,
peripherals. Actually, Mad Catz announced their own console. It's a very smaller console. And it's going to be running off an Android operating system. But it's pretty interesting. It's including the Android operating system. It's going to be integrated with Google.
Well, what about the other one? Wait, is this one the one that's called the
Ouya?
Ouya?
No,
or is that a different one?
That's a different one.
Oh, okay, because I had not heard anything about that Ouya until E3.
There's basically a lot of newer consoles that are being made because with the way mobile platforming has gone, like people are playing games on their iPhone, they're playing games on their Android, and so that's why it's like they're being other companies are like being motivated to like just come out with Android-based like gaming consoles, and so that's why Microsoft they need to be able to grab something else from the audience, so that way they have better competition because with currently it's called Project Mojo, the Mad Catz console. It's going to be using Android operating system. It's also going to be
so the Mojo, is that like in direct competition with the Shield, Ouya, and what's that other one?
You see, the Ouya was called Project Jojo.
See, the thing is, the Mad Catz thing. It was announced, but it hasn't been in line. I think it may be a direct competitor, but it's basically like your Android on a gaming console.
How big is it?
Okay, so it's like the Ouya.
It's relatively tiny, micro thing.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be like the size of like a smartphone, or like maybe like
a little bit.
I think it's wouldn't it be like
a tablet?
size of a controller maybe?
Yeah, because it says it's calling the Mojo a micro console.
Is that the actual console?
Yeah.
Oh, is that at an angle, or is that actually?
It's tilted.
Okay.
Oh, can you send me the
but
picture
the thing is,
of
like,
whatever you're looking at?
Because these consoles, this Ouya and the Mojo, they're running these different operating systems. Like the Mojo, it's running an Android operating system. Everything else that Google has for Androids will be a part of it. So you can do music, movies, and other sort of stuff because it's essentially your phone for gaming, and it will be running harder, better, faster, stronger.
With a controller, which is the main problem, right?
And see, actually, you can't see it, but there's actually, I'll send you the link.
Does this have a controller on it? Like,
that's what I'm trying to figure out. Oh, so
because if it doesn't have a dedicated controller on it, I don't see how.
So actually, the Mojo is about the size of maybe a little bit bigger than the palm of your hand.
Yeah, it's like an iPhone that's maybe 2 inches wider.
It has an audio port. It has a micro USB port as HDMI, and it has two normal USB things. Oh, and the Mojo does have a controller.
Well, the dimensions of that was probably like what, 5 by 3 by 2, more or less.
Yeah, but so it wasn't. Mad Catz wasn't ready to reveal the chip that will power the system. That says it will. It says that it will feature. It will feature no less than 16 gigabytes of internal storage, and it's confirmed that it will support micro SD expansion. So it's essentially just a stronger phone for gaming, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But it's these smaller consoles are coming. Like if they can develop them, and because Mad Catz they've been established as a peripheral company, so they have the monetary backing, and if they can get success though, it's that's why Microsoft had to go with that media side, because it's they need to be able to reach what these other things are reaching now, because with their
they need to reach something that nobody else can.
Because the Androids reach it, so apparently the Mojo it's reaching the Android-based gaming, and Android is designed by Google, and Google is so all-encompassing right now. They're doing Google Music, Google Books, and they're just doing Google has so much influence on your entire aspect of your life. They have YouTube and everything. That's Microsoft that's why they introduced the live streaming and this other sort of stuff, because it's like if these smaller competition consoles can rise, it's like it's going to be a triumvirate sort of thing. Because like right now it's not really that triumvirate it used to be before, because it's now just Sony and Microsoft. Nintendo's not really out there anymore, and so it's like these smaller gen consoles, like they have a lot of press. It's like you don't know much about them.
It's a real shame that the Wii U is called the Wii U, because that is a fantastic console. It really is. But I think
Have you played it?
I have not played it yet, but I've watched many things on it. People play it and videos of it.
It looks like people have so much fun.
The game, exactly. It doesn't look like it's a big MLG thing or anything. Not that Nintendo really has been since Donkey Kong, but it just looks so fun. And it's just such a shame, because I think a lot of people just think it's an extent. It sounds like it's an extension of the Wii.
Yeah, they're not doing so great with the marketing of it.
It's just like, and that's why, yeah. But two topics that, well, I mentioned the Valve box. We don't really know too much about it, but this is something I want to talk to you.
Or something?
Oh, yeah, the Steam box. And here, this is an idea that how interesting would this sound if and this is C3's long distance cousin, RT podcast. No? Yeah. Anyway, they said that an interesting idea that the Steam box came, everything was downloaded through Steam. Nothing. It was directly from, so no third party. I think that was it. Also, it comes pre-installed with Team Fortress 3, Half-Life 3, Portal 3, Left 4 Dead 3, all those 3 games pre-installed on it. Like that sounded very interesting.
Well, no, he was speculating if they did that, that would basically Steam would get amazing sales if they did that.
If they wouldn't, at least my opinion, surpass the new Xbox or the PlayStation, but it would put them on the map very, very quickly.
They'll have a very strong position on the map.
Exactly.
But
I mean, they would
isn't like the Steam box just like a concept though? Isn't it like whoever
still,
can make? There's like a tier system connected to it, or something.
Valve has been quiet lately, and the Steam box still is a myth, you could say.
Yeah, it's still not like, it's still a rumor passing around the internet. It's just like with these rumors of Half-Life 3, just like I saw, like I mentioned to you guys earlier, in that meme, basically PS4 and Xbox One, 4-1, Half-Life 3. It's that sort of level. It's where people are just probably speculating and grabbing at straws. It's like, let this be true, sort of thing. Actually, to go back to my thing about Mojo, Mad Catz is announcing a controller that will be going along with it, but it's optional. It's bought on the side and it connects via Bluetooth. Looks more like an original Xbox controller, but it's not necessary. You can actually use the Mojo will work with any USB or Bluetooth gamepad, and there's actually Arnold and I are looking at a photo of it, but basically the controller, you have the option to connect your smartphone to it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't like that controller just because it looks like it looks like a mix between the Xbox and the PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
But those are 2 pretty good controllers to steal from, so I don't mind.
Yeah, well, it's just like, I mean, I guess playing on it would be good. It's just not. It just isn't original. I mean, even the colors are specifically. Wait, hold on. Go back. Was it letters?
No, they're just circles.
Because I was gonna say it almost because they have the same colors as a Microsoft.
Oh, circles. It's colors.
Okay, I saw the red circle and I thought, did they use the PlayStation symbols with the Microsoft colors?
I like the sleek design of the Wii.
Those are the ones I heard. And no, you see, if it looks sleek, it probably isn't sleek. Like the 360 looks kind of curvy, but it fits perfectly with your hand. Like I can't think of a better controller that I've held other than that 360 one. Like that one looked really smooth for the Wii U.
Oh, by the way, have you heard of? Actually, we've been paying attention to Oculus Rift, right, David?
Oh yeah, I've been paying a lot of attention to Oculus Rift.
It's so awesome.
I want that thing. I'm pre-ordering that thing.
I know very little of it. What is it?
It's basically so to explain, it's virtual reality headgear.
Does it simulate things on its own, or can it connect? Can it be connected? Can you watch TV on it, basically? Can you connect it to other?
I think
so.
maybe more knowledgeable than I am, David.
Okay, so the thing with the Oculus Rift, at the moment they haven't been able to make one that, Wait, do you know what it is, Arnold? Like, do you have an idea of what it looks like and stuff?
I've only heard a few things of it. I'm looking at pictures of it right now.
Okay, that's enough. As of right now, they have only been able to integrate the Oculus Rift with the games, but
Like consoles or through their own...
PC games.
Oh,
Like I think Team Fortress 2 is fully integrated with it now. Doom 3, just basic games that they could just quickly push out. But right now they have not figured out how to make it work with desktop. So that you can't look at movies with it yet, but it hasn't even come out yet, so we can't say anything, really.
Hey, we need your help in something. We're sending you something right now. Do you know what... here. Do you know what CCP games are?
Just the name of the company.
Oh, is that just the name of the company?
Yeah.
Oh, because I thought... well, what does it stand for, then?
Crowd Control Production.
See, if this was like something like another C, isn't the you mentioned Chinese Communist Party, but the Soviet Union was CCCP. But one more thing. I'm curious to know, you guys. We talked very briefly, but we thought this should be podcast talk. Was what is the most anticipated game for each of you?
For me, it's a toss-up between Destiny and Battlefield 4 because I haven't seen much gameplay of Destiny, but I love how it looks. It reminds me of back when I saw the not cutscenes, but just like the cinematic scenes of Halo Wars, and love that quality that you saw. And I'm really liking what you're seeing right now with the Destiny trailer. I don't know if we can show that right now.
Destiny trailer.
You're more excited over Destiny than Battlefield?
Send me a link on it.
I don't know. For the moment, I want to say Battlefield because I've seen actual gameplay, but I can't be too entirely sure because Destiny itself, it just looks really nice, according to the trailer that Philip will be showing in a few moments. But I don't know. Like, I want to have high expectations for Destiny just because it's Bungie, and I love their work with Halo. So, but Battlefield 4, it's like, I like what they're adding, but I don't feel like it's really Battlefield 4. I feel people may be angry at me, but it feels like Battlefield 3.5. It's just a couple of add-ons, and new maps. They're adding new game types and a new, combat system in a way, but it's like, it doesn't feel like there's anything extremely brand new that makes it stand out. Because I believe they're still using maybe an updated engine. They're using Frostbite 3.0, but I'm not too well aware how well that works. One thing, I don't know, do you know much about Battlefield?
Me? The series in general, or what?
Battlefield 4.
Battlefield 4, not too much.
So they have this thing called Commander Mode.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, say if you can't, be on your console itself, you can basically be Overwatch, and by assigning objectives and telling teammates and squads what to do, you get points, and from those points you can actually with these points I want to send out a UAV for my team, and we'll send out a UAV that will activate for everyone. You can send if you collected enough points, if your squad, if the people that you're commanding has gotten enough points and objectives, you can send out missiles, or you can send out vehicles to just provide support. So you're just that commander providing Overwatch, and that's a really cool way.
Is that still first person shooter perspective, or
no,
no,
it's an overview. It's you basically see the map and you see what to push, and you have
RTS style.
Kind of RTS.
Let's see. I'm gonna pull up some images of it for Arnold.
But in the meantime, Phil, what game are you looking forward to?
I am looking forward to Watch Dogs. It's that I can control everything about you with a cell phone game.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys seen it, but know what it is?
I haven't seen too much of it.
Same here.
It's basically GTA, and you can manipulate everything with a cell phone.
Yeah, and I thought that was a really cool. I feel like the story is going to be really cool, just because it's that hackerish sort of concept.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some hikes. Actually, you and I saw it at Comic-Con. We were there.
Yes.
And I saw some.
I saw some gameplay footage of it, and I heard about it. Like after hearing some more press release about it, I'm really excited just because it's really cool, and I really hope that because it seems like it's going to be a pretty gritty storyline. Just because like you can just tell from like the footage, it's going to be that darker color scheme, and like not to be presumptuous or assume or anything, I feel like it's just going to be that sort of darker game, but like it's going to be a lot more grittier and not as comedic as other like sandbox games are, like GTA 8 and Saints Row and that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I imagine like LA Noir, where it's like that sort of darker part of society. But yeah, I actually. So, are we able to get footage of that Destiny trailer?
Yeah, I already threw it up.
Okay, Philip, I'm sending you a link to something. Check this.
But yeah, ideally, I think the Destiny looks really nice. But I'm interested in how Battlefield does this other input, because it's basically, and I like their destruction system. They upgraded it a lot. So because before a lot of people like only 2 classes were really effective against vehicles, but now what you can do, or at least according to one of their gameplay trailers, so say like you're underground and there's a road right above you and there's a tank there. If you've done enough damage to the supporting structures, it will collapse and the vehicle itself will be destroyed.
It's so long for a
I'm
game.
sorry, what game is this? I'm not paying attention.
But Battlefield always have that destruction environment. Like if
Yeah, well, you know what? I want a game to where things in reality, like if you have somebody who can like punch through walls in game, like has the ability to, you know what I'm talking about? Or say you're that like Kratos character from or something where you can pretty much destroy anything, but when it comes to like the side of the mountain, you just can't punch it just because it's not accessible to you. I wish there was a game to where if you put enough time into it, you pretty much can just make it into a wasteland.
Well, see, the thing is, like, the one problem with that is, like, in such a game as Battlefield,
Yeah.
you need to have some surviving structure, because it's like,
Well, you make it like an unlockable mode after you've beaten the game. I mean, you
oh
obviously...
no, I'm talking about multiplayer, though.
Oh,
Multiplayer,
yeah.
because
Oh yeah, you'll never do
Still
that with
collapse.
multiplayer.
it's cover, but it's like, if you just,
Well, that's gonna. Well, you make it to the point where it's beyond. You know, it's gonna take a pretty big group effort to take down everything. I mean, you're not gonna have something that can a map that can be destroyed in 5 minutes.
yeah, that's true. But, like, there are some, like, in my experience with PC players, there's some people who just run around with C4, like, to lay it on the ground floor of buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's actually one really cool thing with that. If you have a grenade launcher, you can, if you launch it at like a rooftop of the building, there's people below, debris will fall, and it will actually kill the person. And it will count as destruction.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty
Well,
good.
Yeah. Now let's Google this. We're currently occupied just a little bit. Oh, I see. Oh, you can play.
What instinct?
What are you guys talking about?
Hold on.
Mumbling in the background.
Nothing. You'll see.
What are you doing to my search history, Arnold? What are you doing? What are you doing to my search history?
That applies to that, right? That's it. Okay. There we go. All right. There you go. Just wanted to send you something.
What are you doing, guys? Okay, whatever. Ignore that.
There we go.
So is there anything, any other major E3 news that you guys are interested about?
The fuck? Don't I get a wait? Don't I get a turn?
Well,
My
yeah.
game.
So what game?
There's a very. I am glad nobody mentioned this, just so I could talk about it. Did you delete entry? Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront. I cannot wait. I played Battlefront 2. I was thinking about this, and I think Star Wars Battlefront 2 is the 3rd most played game I've ever had.
It's being made by DICE, right?
Yeah.
See, I really hope they will integrate the Frostbite engine.
They've claimed. I thought that was already confirmed, but they've claimed that they're not going to run. It's not going to be like It's not going to be Battlefield 4 with Star Wars, but other people are making it 4. But we'll see.
Good.
I'm just glad they're bringing back.
Exactly.
How does Disney get involved in this?
Because they own LucasArts.
Yeah, so it's like,
What was used to be
will
LucasArts.
they basically be like getting involved in the gaming sphere now?
Well, we'll see.
I think they want to, but
I don't think they do. I think it's just going to be EA is just the one that's going to take care of everything. If EA messes up, then Disney's going to step in, get rid of them, and move on to someone else. But we'll see. I'm just very happy that Star Wars games are back. When I saw that LucasArts was
Kinda.
gone, I thought, oh no, because the last 360 game that I played was Force Unleashed 2, which was okay.
no, that wasn't that great.
Yeah,
Let's be honest,
But
that
it was
wasn't that great.
fun to play. It didn't. The storyline was there, and the ending of it was definitely not the greatest. But I do look forward to the Battlefront. I want to see how it's. They haven't said much about it at all. I want to see if it's going to be a reboot or if it's going to be a continuation of Hoth, because the trailer has it at the Battle of Hoth, and Battlefront 2 ended there. So is that trailer just supposed to be like preluding the events of what's going to happen? Or is that going to be or are they just rebooting it, basically?
So I think we're gonna be. Go ahead, Philip.
I don't really care what they do with the Battlefront 3 or 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2,
It's called Battlefront.
or just Battlefront. I hope that they don't make it serious. I hope that they just make it all the cool stuff.
What do you mean by serious?
Like, the Battlefront series has always just been like, look at all these cool things that the Star Wars universe has. It wasn't like
It's never been a serious game. It's very
you don't want like major cutscenes that kind of makes the plot take over the story. Like you don't. Is that what you're saying?
no. I don't mind if the plot takes over. I just don't want it to be like all dramatic, like
I really
and
like
sad
how
the entire all the way through. I want it to have life and like entertainment value.
I think that there was a game that came out on the old Xbox called Star Wars Obi-Wan Adventure something. It was an Obi-Wan game where you played as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I beat that game 18 times, like from beginning to end, because that game was so fun. But it wasn't when the 360 came out, it wasn't compatible for it. But Battlefront, I probably did the campaign 4 or 5 times on the Xbox. When it came out, when you could play it on the 360, this is back when I didn't have that many 360 games. I played that game so much still.
So I don't know if Battlefront, like, if that was, I don't know if I played campaign or not. Like, I just love how you can get a multiplayer experience.
Well, that was the only game where I used everything. Like, I played every single game mode that was available because you had the storyline, but then you had you had your 150 guys against 150 guys, but then you also had like the planetoid takeover. What was that called? Galactic Conquest.
That's what I like. It felt like a multiplayer experience, but you were able to play offline and single player. Like, it felt like you were playing an online game because it's like it wasn't like the standard like storyline of like other video games. Because like in other video games, it's just you. Like the AIs only die super fast. This one's like the AIs were actually like really fighting.
Yeah.
And it felt and it felt like I was actually playing a multiplayer game as compared to like, oh, all my teammates are dead. I have to do this whole mission on my own, sort of like standard.
Well, what I liked, my best gaming experiences was in Battlefront, and it was on the Death Star. And if you're familiar with the game, are you familiar with it, Philip?
I'm not too familiar with that either.
Basically, you start off. Well, there's 6 points you need to get to, and there's 6 checkpoints. You each start in one of them, and there's 4 open, or not checkpoints, bases that you capture. And so basically, you have 150 people on each side, but only I think 12 or 16 are accessible at a time. So what happened was I was on the rebel side, and I wiped out about 50 enemies fairly quickly because if you kill enough people in time, and if you run, there's a little shortcut you can cross over that the AI doesn't do. So if you can survive, you can just kill people. And you become a hero, and in this case, you become Luke Skywalker. And as soon as I became Luke, I just tore through the enemies and captured the enemy base. So I took about 70 of their guys total, and I finished the round in 2 minutes and had all 150 people survive. And that was probably the best gaming moment I've ever had.
All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. We've been on for maybe like an hour.
Wrap it up.
So
An hour 40, I think.
40.
Yeah.
There's an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed listening. been 1 year now. So sorry for not uploading too many content in the meantime.
Yeah,
But,
our sponsors will be terribly upset at us.
But
yeah.
you can expect after this podcast that we will have some more content up on our website or on our channel. And though we weren't able to address it, there's still WWDC Apple Conference. I mean, there are some.
Do we
I
have to? I mean, it's just
Yeah,
Apple.
I think we can skip over that. Really.
Okay.
It's just
Uh,
Apple being Apple.
Then there's like a few minor details and a few minor stuff from E3 that we never got to. But I think that's about it for us.
So 2 things. Go Bruins, up 2-1 now in the series. And the other thing is,
What sports?
congratulations to the 2 of you. You're graduating in 2 days. Your last day of school is tomorrow, at least high school. But
All right,
welcome.
Sports.
What?
Bruins? I've never heard of them.
Bruins.
Hockey.
Hockey.
The Boston Bruins. There's the UCLA Bruins. It's college football. But well, I'm talking about the Boston Bruins.
I was joking.
Alright.
Come on. Get the jokes.
Okay.
Hey, you guys can fool me enough.
All right, guys. So let's wrap this up.
Hey, while you're wrapping up.
Okay.
No, you're gonna have to cut me off.
Alright.
So-
This has been Zephyr's Lots.
This has been Asian Pride.
This is Arnold and guest star Stilly.